Senior Experience Week, we went to Mexico with 4 other awesome DOC seniors. Months beforehand, when we started planning for Senior Experience, I knew I wanted to go on a service project rather than job shadow. Our church has a connection in Mexico with a place called Refuge Ranch, which is a foster home run by a woman named Julie and her husband Victor. Foster home is probably not the correct term for their household. It's really just a huge, delightful family. Julie and Victor have 3 kids of their own and have adopted 15 others, ranging in age from 3 to 19. Most of the kids come from devastating backgrounds, but have the opportunity to be loved by the amazing family at Refuge Ranch. Part of our time during the week was spent building relationships and connecting with these fantastic children. I would like to make a shout out to Senor Miller for teaching us Spanish so well. I got to use it often and that was really exciting. The other part of our time was for serious work. Before going, we weren't completely sure what the job would entail, but that encouraged me to keep an open mind and let the experience be led by God. Well, the work ended up being mixing cement. It's a good thing we're also muscular. Our group was building a foundation for a water tank so that showers for all the kids would not be a day-long process. We also cleared out an old tool shed and tore it down. Julie and Victor are in the process of building a new house on their property and expanding for even more kids to adopt and love. Towards the end of the week, we got to talk a little more to Julie about the kids' stories and how she remains so lively and at peace all the time. Her patience is incredible and must, I think, be God-given. I saw God very directly through Julie. The kids, too, are alike. They were so quick to invite us into their lives, and I was amazed at their love and hospitality. I have no regrets about doing service for Senior Experience, and I encourage you all to not be afraid to try something you never have before. You cannot underestimate the people you might meet or the lessons you might learn.
So I just want to share a few highlights from my perspective from our trip, and like Maddie said, lessons that I learned. And the biggest thing, I think, for me was just plain and simple the relationships, because we did meet really incredible people. I wrote down Julie to talk about, just like Maddie, and we didn't really talk about what we were going to say beforehand, but I also noticed that she just had like this loving spirit, and you can tell it's just from God. She has incredible faith that inspired me as well. And it was really neat to meet these incredible people, and not just new people, but also people from a different culture. And it was really different because the food was different and really good. The driving down there is super crazy. I remember Senor Miller talking about that all the time in my Spanish classes, and I experienced that for sure. But as different as it was, the cool thing was that we still shared a lot in common with the kids. They know all of our celebrities, which didn't really surprise me because, like, a lot of other countries know about, like, American pop culture, but they would be like, do you like Justin Bieber? We like Justin Bieber. And, like, I was talking with this one girl, Josie, who's 10, and she was asking me, like, do you like One Direction? Do you like Big Time Rush? Like, who's your favorite person from Big Time Rush? And I was like, I don't even know all their names, but that's great. I would love them. And we just, like, we had a good time together. We played games. We taught them this clapping game, and they wanted to play it all the time. And, like, I should have gotten bored with it, but they were so cute. It was just really fun. And they would just come up to us and, like, randomly give us hugs all the time. And it just warms your heart to be around them because they're really joyful. And it's amazing because they come from, like, tragic backgrounds. All, like Maddie said, they have 15 adopted kids just off the street, and they come from, like, abuse and living on the street, fending for themselves. Like, one of the boys, Victor, the dad, literally picked up out of jail when he was 6 years old. He was living in jail. And another boy, Alejandro, was the newest addition to the family when we were there. He's 12, and he had been in, like, 7 different living situations before he came to the ranch. And he had been in a men's shelter and was abused there. And he had been living on the street at one point until Julie and Victor took him in, and he found a home at Refuge Ranch. and the slideshow will finish up